What's happening? This is Ryan Dawkins, and you're tuning in to The LOFT.
Has brought out the best of me. Today, I'm with Atlantic City-based DJ, none other than Chelsea Frost, aka DJ FREEZIE. What's up?
What's up? How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming all this way. She came an hour and 20 minutes into the city to do this podcast, so I really appreciate that.
No problem.
So, curious because I've seen you around working with, like JJ's and Rodeo Disco and doing your thing, just from afar. But I wanted to have you and sit you down here and just pick your brain a little bit. I have tons of different questions.
Okay.
Some that you definitely probably aren't gonna like because I watched Tonka's a little bit. Shout out to Tonka, talk with Tonka.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. But yeah, you are very unique in the fact that your style is very unique that I haven't seen before. And like I said, just putting out there, like you are a female DJ, but not saying that means anything. But you knew I was gonna bring it up.
Yeah, I know.
But
I was like, we're gonna have to deep dive on that.
The only reason why I bring it up is because I feel like it is unique and something that you do possess that most, if not other DJs, don't. Because the industry is predominantly male, and I'm really curious as to why. Honestly, I'm curious as to how you really got yourself into the industry. Okay. Knowing that how it is and what the landscape looks like.
I didn't know anything about what it looked like. That's why it was pretty brutal and crazy at first. Like when Tonka and I were talking and I said, I think my purpose was just very different than everybody else's when I started. But the moment I saw everybody else's energy and what they were doing, it was infectious. I fell in love with it, and I loved how talented everybody was, and I wanted to be around them, and I wanted to be as good as them. There was no part of me that was blowing smoke. I never thought I was the shit when I wasn't. I really was. I'm so critical on myself, horrible. And my inner dialogue is very dark and has been since my whole life. I'm finally now getting to a good place.
That's good.
And I can feel it in my energy when I'm meeting people and everything, that I'm a totally different person.
Yeah.
But back then, it was pretty rough. So someone just kind of met me, long story short, and was starting a girl DJ company. And they had this girl that just kind of flopped. They set up a whole stage for her. It was Memorial Day weekend, and she choked. She literally just couldn't do it. And they had already built and advertised all the stuff in the casinos. It's just wild. So they needed somebody, and they needed somebody fast. And so I started working with DJ Daly. And
he's out in Chicago now, right?
Yes. But when I first met Daly, was the first person I worked with, and I would stand behind him when he would DJ, and he would just teach me little things here and there. And then life happened. We were supposed to be working together all the time, and I was booked 5 nights a week, and I didn't even know how to set up my shit yet. It was bad, but it was what the people wanted at the time, you know what I mean? And I did touch on this in Tonka's thing, but at the time I was working at a little market in Ocean City. And this was big money. What am I going to be I'm not ready. No, I was okay, cool, let's do it. So I was booked, and that was where my downfall was. I was out there way before I was ready. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Right.
And then I was hosting an industry night on Tuesdays. So I was playing with all of them too. And they were this chick,
So you probably had to put a lot of work in, behind the scenes just to be able to catch up very quickly.
Yeah, on the fly. It was wild. But I tried my best to do it the right way. I really did.
Yeah. How old were you when you got into DJing?
I was 18 when I met Dave Pomponio. He was my manager. And then 19, I was booked my first gig. I was booked maybe 2 months after I met Pomponio.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think that DJing helped with the thoughts that you had in your head?
No, I think it made it way worse. Not because of the community and what happened to me when I first started. It was really bad. But I will say DJing did change it for me. Because when I was performing, and that was the difference. Like, I loved DJing because I loved being on stage. I loved performing. I loved getting into it with the audiences and things like that. That is when I felt the most confident. I felt so good when I was playing. It was when I wasn't playing and when I was around everybody else.
Interesting.
And the way that they were talking to me or whatever. And I was very insecure up until the gig, right after the gig, the days and days after. I would be like,
just
eaten up.
In the moment you weren't. Though.
No, in the moment I felt free. I felt good. I felt happy. And looking back, it was that connective energy. And I was capable of that even at a young age. And I didn't realize how huge that is for the people in the audience. It's not just about your blending or your mixing. I'm not saying anything else, but people enjoyed my energy and my connection. And that came easily. There was no question in that.
Yeah, just having fun with it. Yeah, that's something I noticed too. Is like you learn that when you're playing, the people that are there they don't know what you're playing on, they don't know how you're mixing, how you're transitioning, but when people know, they know. Like if they don't notice it, it's a good thing because you're doing your job. Yeah, you know what I mean.
But look at it this way, right? It's like when I first started, like I met everybody and I was so souped, like, oh, we're going out on Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Like we were going out all the time, having fun. And then I would get there and I would be like excited and happy, and everybody was just kind of like clowning, like on the wall, like dark energy. It wasn't like anybody's like, yeah, let's have fun. The only person that was like that was Tonka. Yeah. And that's why him and I connected, because he was a dancer before, so he'd be busting moves. And I was like, I love this guy. He's like what I expected when I was coming into the entertainment industry. Yeah. Not like this, like everybody was so like too cool, you know what I mean? Yeah,
it's the reality, I think, because you definitely build up like a shell too and thick skin, because it's weird because in a weird way people think that they're competing, and like and I'm sure your personality and as well as mine is, it's like we're not. It's just everyone's just trying to do cool shit, you know what I mean? And,
but we are
yeah, to a degree, yeah. And but that's how I try not to look at it. I just kind of like to stay in my lane and just, you know, whatever happens.
Yeah. That's a good way to be. That's how I try to be now, because I get pissed off. You know what? Why didn't I get that?
You know what though? Because if you're not like that, it gets in your head, and it really puts thoughts in your head that shouldn't be there. You know?
It eats you up.
Yeah. And so you started when you were 18, correct? And then throughout your career, you've always been in Atlantic City, or I know you've transitioned you're in Philadelphia, JJ's, and places like that. And
no, I lived in Philly first. I moved when I was 19 to Manayunk, and then I lived in South Philly for 10 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So then I moved home about 8 years ago. I grew up in Ocean City, New Jersey. I went to high school there. Okay. So I moved home like 8 years ago, but for a long time I lived in Philly. Oh, and that's why I come back here, like, because I just like, people like, you don't mind driving and all that. I'm like, I love being here. I miss it. I miss the city. I love bopping in. And honestly, this is the healthiest space for me to be in. I feel like if I was in Philly all the time and I was competing just in this market, I would go back to how I used to be and how I used to feel.
So you think coming in and out is best for you?
Yes, for sure. For sure.
Why do you think that?
Because it's like I get to come in and have fun and see everybody, but it's not that deep. You know what I mean? It's not like every day, oh, if so-and-so's doing a party or whatever, and then like I'm not going. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get that, because that's how I like was. Like I'd have to go out every single day, and like I'm slowly trying to, at this point, transition out of that. Yeah. Because it's just a lot. You know, you're waking up at noon and you're like, you just don't feel good all the time. Right. And then also like, I think there is value in not being present all the time. You know, because if you are, it's just, you know, you're always there. You know, there's value in your time being, you know, here and there, etc. So you mentioned you have a 5-year-old.
I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
And a 3-year-old. Oh, so you have a family going on.
I do. I'm spinning many
super mom.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of shit. Yeah.
So when you're, I'm curious about this too. So when you're, you know, you obviously have your children and your family. How are you able to balance that in nightlife? I
am actually so proud of myself now like everything happens for a reason. I know that sounds corny.
No, it's true.
But the dominoes kind of just go. Like if I had my daughter when I was 20, I don't think I would be the same person.
Right.
I'm in a good place now, but that's not to say that sometimes nightlife doesn't get to me and it doesn't make me like, I'll be sad. I'll have the blues sometimes. And it's like, I don't love that for being a mom, you know, but I work 2 days a week mostly. Sometimes, well, lately I've been doing like some Sundays and Thursdays too. So sometimes now it's more like 4. I'm like, it's just the weekends and Thursdays and Sundays. Sundays technically.
That's what happens though. It builds and like, oh, they need me finished on Monday or they need you for something. You know, it's how it goes. Yeah, or Wednesdays. Yeah.
So, but for the most part, it's pretty good. I work when they go to bed. Like I kiss them goodnight. They love when I come out all dressed up. They're like,
"That's cool,
Mommy, you look like a rock star." Like they're so cute about
That's
it.
Awesome.
And then I wake up and we hang out and we do stuff, you know, like, and then I'm there with them all week, so I get to be really present.
That's nice.
Yeah, and especially when they were little, when they weren't in school, I took them everywhere. We just like gypsied all over.
Yeah.
Now that they're in school, I'm like, ugh, we can't do anything today. It's a Monday. Come on, man. Like, let's go.
Yeah, I love it. And they I'm sure they really help, you know, with the energy and keeping it instilled in you.
For sure.
So when you mentioned that if you had kids when you're younger, you wouldn't be where you are. So when you were doing that, did you have like this, like just thought in your head that like you just want to pursue this like more than anything? Like, is that like something that, like in your 20s, is that something you really like pursued? Like, hey, listen, I don't want a family right now. I don't want to distract myself. Like, were you just so dialed into what you're doing?
No, the crazy part was I've always wanted to be a mom. That was like my main thing. I didn't grow up wanting to be a DJ. That wasn't what was going on for me. But you know, I just was naturally really, I feel like I was really good at it naturally. Like I said, performing wise, it was all the time too. Like girls DJs were blowing up. There weren't a lot at that time.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were like paid models that they were like, oh, they were in Playboy.
Like
and now they
Hilton.
DJ.
I see Paris Hilton and all them.
Yeah. And that was like what most of the DJs were. So I had great representation. My manager, he was my best friend, and he had me booked everywhere and took care of me. So it was like, I felt like, wow, I'm doing this. I saw it and it was happening and the money was coming in and my life was just growing and growing and growing. So I never was like, I don't really want to do this right now. You know what I mean?
You don't really have a choice. Like, like why leave it if it's working? And
then I just loved playing bigger and bigger stages because I could be more wild on the stage. I would like hang from the rafters and shit.
Oh,
like
really?
I'm getting older now. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm getting older now, so I'm like, I don't go as crazy, but if it's there, if I'm on a stage, it's happening. Like it'll come out. Like Tiger get out the gate.
I like that.
So the big stages, I loved that. So I think that's what drove me, because I was like, I want to be like on big stages so that way I can really be myself and be just you know.
I have to ask the superlative question, but what's like the biggest stage you played on?
Well, I've been DJing the Phantoms games, and that's not a big stage, but it's cool, a lot of people. The energy, you get a little like,
in a sports
it's a lot.
Environment. Yeah, it's always.
I loved it though. Hockey, I was like, ooh, these are my people, baby. I love it.
Is that your favorite sport?
I don't know. I'm not big into sports, but I played soccer my whole life.
Okay.
And I'm actually my daughter's soccer coach.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Fun. But hockey was fun. I used to live in those gateway apartments right near, you know what I'm talking about, where they were like near all the stadiums.
Oh, and like
that gated community.
Philly.
Yeah. Kurt used to live there too, Courtesy. And I think we lived there at the same time, but we didn't know it. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So anyway, we would go, person I was dating at the time, we would go down to the stadiums and we would just like get tickets, like scalpers we got. We would just grab, and if we didn't get them, we'd go home and watch the game, like whatever.
That's sick.
So we would go to ice hockey games. I did like hockey games a lot.
That's pretty cool. Hockey, yeah. I'm more of like I'm a Sixers guy. And
I went to one of those and I was like, I don't know that I'd like to DJ that. I like to go to Sixers games. Yeah. But DJ wise, I was like, hockey is my energy.
Yeah, more like the arena vibe is probably better.
Or WWE, if they need a DJ, I'm for it. I'm right here.
That'd be kind of sick. You should be in a WWE.
I feel like I missed my calling for sure.
With your outfits.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So like, So you mentioned how you had the you mentioned how you have your your personality in the when you're in the event, the gig, or you're DJing. What's your personality and confidence like? Because your energy is amazing. Like, honestly, just like it's amazing. But I'm curious because you mentioned how when you're playing, you feel like you're performing. When you're off of that, why do you feel that drop off?
It's bad. And that's why I love when I meet good people who make me feel good. It's like a lighter to the flame. Like, I really, really relish in that feeling because it's not often. Like, sometimes, like I said, I feel very dark when I'm like in my own head. So if I can meet somebody and we're just like having fun and they're a DJ and we're like out, that to me, I'm like, yes, like I can be myself and I can also be freezy and be like intertwined. When I'm around people who, especially ones that I remember when I was younger who were not very nice. Yeah. When I'm around them now, I'm just kind of guarded, you know what I mean? I try to be myself, and I even try to, at this point now, reintroduce myself because I am a different person. I know I'm a completely different person. But it's still there.
You're
and
a
I
big
can
off
still
energy.
feel it. Yeah, and I can still feel it. So I'm just like, whatever. Like, I just know who you are, and that's fine. I don't have to be best friends with everybody.
Yeah.
But I'm that kind of person that, like, I want to. When I meet you, I'm like, yo, like, let's do a shot. Let's hang out. But some people are just not picking up what I'm putting down, and that's okay.
And that's fine. I think you definitely learn that too over time. You know. Real quick, let me call Chris an Uber because he just paid for me.
Okay.
He said, okay, cool. So they just emailed me and said the driver has arrived. Okay. Or the driver's been booked. Sweet. Hold on a second. Let me just call it real quick. I'll cut all this out.
Okay, I was like, are we going?
No. Chris is I know for a fact Chris is stranded right now.
Okay.
So I'm gonna make sure he just gets.
I'll ask you a question while he's doing that. Just because I want to know, how did you get into doing DJing at the Phantoms Games?
At the Phantoms Games. Okay, so I played in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania a lot. And then from the people who I networked and met out there, like, they were looking for another DJ. They have like 4 or 5 DJs, and then they do bands sometimes too. So it's not like I'm doing every game, which if I had it my way, I would be because I love it. It's really fun.
I'm a hockey girl too.
Oh, you are? The thing is, it is far, so I don't think I would want to do every game, even though I say that.
A lot of games.
Yeah. Like, if I did the Flyers or something, maybe, or like if there was a New Jersey, I think the New Jersey
Devils.
Yeah. Or if they had like a minor league team and it was closer, I would love to do that.
I feel like I've had so many people in my world lately that are in stadium, like DJs.
Yeah.
And I love that for them. Like, I think that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I have had on my vision board for like so long that I want to be like an in-stadium host.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I saw something came up on my thing for Pittsburgh Penguins were looking for an in-stadium host, and I was like,
I feel like that'd be Jules Lane. Like, just like.
That would be awesome.
I look like a schlub right now.
No.
I'm on my shit.
Dude, no, and not like there's a guy that's a host where I do it.
Like the girl, I'm sure you know Cass in the City. She's like an Instagram person in Philly. So she was a Flyers cheerleader for the longest time, dancer or whatever, and she's big on social media. So she, I guess, like made the move, and they like asked her to be in stadium. So now she's one of the Flyers ones, and I'm like, that is so fun.
That's cool.
Damn, yeah. It's hard to break into that, but once you're there, it's like, oh, you made it. They're not switching it up usually, like, you know.
So we'll cut back in.
Okay.
So Jules Gainsbourg is doing the cameras, and she asked Freezie a really good question about how like she got into like doing the Phantoms game, and that kind of leads into a good question, I guess, is like, what's your philosophy on that? Like, on getting that opportunity, like if there's an opportunity that you want or that you are after, how do you go about pursuing that?
This is hard for me because since I was babied when I first started, like for sure, Dave did everything for me. He did all my finances. He found me an apartment if I needed it. Like, he was literally my full blown manager. Helped me buy my car, like find what car to get. You know what I mean? Like he just like I call him now. I'm out to eat and I'm like, I'll screenshot him like the wine list, and I'm like, what should I have? Like, he helps. Oh,
you're one of those too?
Oh, hell yeah. But he helps me with everything, and so. booking myself, I can't stand it. I hate it so much. And like, people will be like, oh, you know what, hit me up. If they don't answer my text, like, I'm not double texting you. I'm just not that way. But sometimes you really have to.
Yeah.
But I hate it. It's so cringy to me. Like, I'm like, ugh. And then like money, I hate talking numbers, like, because my manager always did that. So the first time I was like, ugh.
It's always an awkward conversation, but there's also, a good business person will see you seeing value in yourself, if that makes sense. But so when you were, so now you're booking yourself, etc. And you're killing it. Like I see everything everywhere you're playing. You're doing a great job. How important is it to you to get yourself prepared for any potential opportunity?
Okay.
So I'm curious. Well, I'm curious because like, how important is to you your preparedness? Like, how often do you go into a gig like just like when you're getting ready for one, or you're like how often are you mastering your craft, I guess is my question. Okay,
so the problem, well, not the problem, it's a good problem to be busy, right? But I'm doing so many different things. Like I'm doing a lot of weddings, which when I first started playing again, I didn't know how it was going to be. I stopped playing for a little bit of time. See, this is where it's like hard to answer certain things because I'm like past Chell, just starting again Chell, where I'm at now Chell. And they're very different, especially being a mom. Like my life is super up and down. So when I started playing again, I was like, oh, I'm going to do weddings. And that way I get done early. I'll be fine. Like, and I'll be around good energy, people celebrating love. It'll be nice. And so I was pushing for that, right? But weddings don't book out until like 2 years later. Yeah. So then I started I was doing that, but I was also at the same time working for Near Dark. And I still work for them. Jason Goldfarb, shout out. And Vito G, he got me in with them. Okay. So I'm doing my Near Dark gigs. I'm doing some weddings. I'm doing industry nights. I'm doing the Phantoms games. It's a lot of different type of music and vibes. Yeah. And then the rodeo disco, which is a total different vibe. It's all country stuff. So I'm spending a lot of time and more now programming, which I never did. I always played on the fly. Like literally, and people see me now. Somebody was standing next to me while we were talking. Even Tonka said the night he came out, I'm like talking, I can talk to you and do this shit at the same time. Yeah. But I like type every song, or I'll go into my histories of stuff and I'll go down there, but I don't have playlists before I walk in usually. Now, when I did the Phantoms game, I was like, I better have it because you're banging in tracks. Like
you catch a vibe. For sure. Yeah.
But you have to have it. You have to have it done ahead, because otherwise too, with that many people there and you start getting like, if you start second guessing yourself, you're gonna just feel so detached because it's so big, you know. So I spend a lot of time now setting up playlists, especially weddings. It's a lot of work. You know. And I enjoy really working on music and hanging out. I like to do it. I like lay in my bed, wear my headphones, and just like chill. Try not to be on my phone or anything else, because then I'll fall into a hole of something else. You know.
I'll TikTok for like 2 hours.
Yeah, but sometimes I've been on Instagram and I'll hear a song that's like a mashup that like somebody did, and I'm like, I have to have that. Yeah. So sometimes I am going back and forth from my phone trying to like find that or whatever, you know.
I'll get people to send me stuff, and I'm like, yo, appreciate you. Like those are like the TikTok mashups and stuff.
I would like, if anybody wants to send me their TikTok mashups, I'll send you stuff. Okay, good.
So you're obviously working so hard in your craft of DJing and performing. What do you like and what do you enjoy outside of that?
Okay. Outside of DJing, I love decorating my home, like crazy stuff. Like my house is decorated for Halloween like crazy. I was just doing it last night too. I do like crazy inside too, like tablescapes and things like that. And I love interior design. I really love that. I love just listening to music in general, like not even, you know, DJ stuff. And I like hanging out with my girls. I love traveling, like doing little things, thrifting, like stuff like that. That's cool. And I don't know. I love hanging out with my friends. I have tons of friends. I have tons of really good friends. Yeah, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, my circle's pretty good right now.
Was it always like that?
No. No, not at all.
When did that happen?
Honestly, I went to cosmetology school. I really got fed up from DJing when I was about 27 club.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
No, everything was just brutal. And like, I just felt like, especially like dating, and I felt like I could never have a successful relationship and DJ. I
Yeah.
felt like it was like not going to happen for me.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted kids. I knew I wanted a normal life. Like, I was just like, this is too much.
Yeah.
And I felt like the freezie part was really taking over. And I developed so much like anxiety and depression and all this stuff just trying to keep the show going.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't who I really was. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, wow, I'm trying to be this like character.
I mean, dude, I honestly can understand that because people are obviously coming out to see you, whatever, and then like there's people that are there to use you, and there's people that are actually there to give a shit about you. And I think sometimes those lines get really blurred, and they can really mess with you.
Oh yeah,
You know,
especially when I first started, I thought people were my friends, and they weren't. They were all like making fun of me behind my back, and I had no idea. And I was like, why? You know, like, and then dating, like, people would take my insecurities and then use them against me. So anytime we're fighting, you know, they'd be like, oh, you know, you're a joke, whatever, like da, 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 da. And it's like, that's the person I'm sharing my life with, and you're gonna really come for the jugular like that. But people do that. That's human nature, right? People do tend to, if you share your vulnerabilities with them, sometimes, like, nobody's perfect. When they're hurting, they're gonna hurt you, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a toxic quality for sure that people.
But people do it, man, and I'm like, it's all my flaws are out there to people to see. Like, they can know when I'm like, you know, back then, especially.
You're in that field of putting yourself out there, which is is a blessing and a curse. You know what I mean? There's a blessing where. Like, I remember when I first started, like, DJing and, like, doing the podcast, like, there are people that would just say stuff all the time. And, like, excuse me, there's, like, a group of neighborhood kids who still talk shit. But, like, at the end of the day, like, I just had Brian Dawkins on my podcast. So, like, what the fuck do you have to say about it?
Well,
you can't.
that's the great part about growing up or pushing through.
That's the benefit of...
That's where I think a lot of my confidence is coming from. And just being... I don't know exactly what changed, but everything changed. Like, I'm just a different person. There would be a time where I'd walk into a room, and if I saw one of those guys that used to irk me, and I would be like going home and crying and shit. Like, I'd be like, I fucking hate this. What am I doing? Now I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, I think you're hurting, bro. Like, that's how I feel.
It's true.
It's like, you know.
When did you like overcome that? Like,
it just really took. You know what else? Actually, a big change was, like, I love Dave for everything that he did for me. But I wasn't at all putting in the work. I wasn't. Like, it was being given to me. And after I had my second daughter and COVID shut everything down, I was like, you know what? This is a skill that I've honed after I've been DJing 14 years now. So, like, I'm like, I could, and this was probably 3 years ago, so 11 years. I was like, I've been working on this. This is my skill. I can do this. And I'm going to push. I'm going to try right now because we're all coming back, right? We're all coming back from COVID. So, like
reinvent yourself.
Yeah, hell yeah. And I did. And I was making my own flyers, scheduling. Like, I did a photo shoot with Aiden. Shout out to Aiden. He does, Aiden Scott does amazing photo shoots and stuff. And he's so quick with it. Like, if you want pictures like tomorrow, like, he schedules his time
quick
right.
turnaround, yeah.
Yeah, like, he's so professional, which is sometimes hard with photographers because they like take a bunch of pictures and then they don't want to edit them. You know? So so I started making moves for myself and then building genuine connection, right? Rather than having somebody book me and then I'm just showing up and playing. It was like, oh, like, I felt better. I felt like whole.
How could you get the most out of this experience that you're having? I guess.
How would you say?
No, I get I guess my mindset as well. And I'm sure what you're kind of hitting at too is like, how can I get the most out of this experience? How can I get the most out of this night? Yeah. You know what I mean? Build that relationship.
And I felt good about just like doing my things. Like, I remember the first night I booked myself because, like, I work for Near Dark, like I said. So yes, I did have to get that connection with Jason, but he does do my bookings for me for all those. So the first night I booked my own industry night, I was like, whoa, I put down the phone, I like smacked my hand so loud, and my daughters were like, what? And I was like, they don't know, you know. I was like, I booked myself, like, and they were like, what? I was like, I booked myself, and they were like, okay. And we were running around my house, like they were laughing. I put some music on, we were like grooving. It was a huge accomplishment for me, and it's like
awesome.
It's a little embarrassing to say, but it really felt. It was big for me.
Yeah, it's like counting.
It's not playing the gig, just getting it myself. You know what I mean?
It's counting your wins and just also being grateful that you do have them, because there can always be a point where that doesn't happen. You know, so when you do have it, like it is important to be grateful and then celebrate with your kids and create that energy in your house. That I'm sure like when you're creating that energy, like your kids are excited for you because they have no idea what you're doing.
Oh,
like,
no idea what they're
doing.
How
important is it to you to be strong for them?
That's everything. So I'm constantly working on myself and evolving, and that is from that dark critical side of me, but it's also coming from a place of wanting to be the best. So I am hard on myself, but it's because I want to do good things. I want to be the best. I want to make the most moves in my life. So I did learn that confidence changed my entire life. At 30 years old, I was like, I feel confident now. And if I had this confidence when I was 21, I would have been touring the world. Like, there's no doubt. And that's what's sad. It's like, damn, man. Like, it's sad that it took me that long to learn confidence. And so that's my main goal for my children. I want them to know that they can do it. They are strong. They are powerful, and they're unique. And like, that's all that matters to me. Yeah, and you have that now, and something I always say is like, if you had it back then, you may not have had the chance to have children at this point, you know? Right.
So
I probably would be not.
And so
here.
like do you think that like it really like that like had the self-belief and that ability to like, listen, I have to do this, do you think that came from having your kids?
I think it came from having kids, yes, but it also came from when I started going to school, and then when I got a job, like I was getting job offers like crazy. Like I ran a 2,000 square foot $1 million salon in Ocean Resort. First job I had after getting my hair degree. Like it was like, I knew that, you know what? I have potential and other people can see it too. And just because DJing was so brutal on me doesn't mean that it doesn't exist within me. You know what I mean? And then when I was working in these work environments, I could see my work ethic, and I was like, wait, these people are getting paid for the, like, it's not theirs. You either have it or you don't. And I was like, it gave me confidence, like, because DJing was my only job I ever had, really, except for like high school jobs. So I didn't know what I was capable of. And then once I learned, I was like, damn, like, and that's what changed my confidence. Then when I had my first daughter, it changed a lot within me, but my second daughter changed my confidence. Something about her, just energy, she makes me calm. She makes me strong. Something about her. Like the minute I had her, I told everybody they could go home. Like it didn't even matter. Like we were just chilling. Like she was such a good baby, and something about her like really changed a lot in me.
I like that. See, your kids.
I'm a crybaby. Sorry. No. It's just like I was scared to have another kid. I felt like one kid, like we traveled together, we went everywhere. Like I would take her to my gigs, I would bring a friend with me. We would get a room, like they would give me a room. We'd stay over, then we'd go to like the Inner Harbor in Baltimore the next day and stuff. Like we would do cool stuff. So when I found out I was having another daughter, I was actually like so bummed because I wanted a boy for my boyfriend, for their dad. I was like, what the hell? I'm just starting over. Like, I'd rather just be with Orlin. Like, I just wanted to be with her.
What are your kids' names? It's Orlin?
Orlin and Dakota.
And Dakota.
But then once I had Dakota, I can't picture my life without her. And I was like, wow. And not to mention, like, they're sisters. They're best friends. Like, I even had to look up their zodiacs because I was like, yeah, this is unreal how close they are.
When are they born? Their birthdays?
They're December and February, so they're Sagittarius and Aquarius.
Okay.
Dakota's an Aquarius.
Okay, I'm a Libra. I don't know what that means.
You're a Libra?
Yeah.
So am I.
Really?
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
September 25th.
Oh wow! Wait, happy birthday!
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you.
We're filming this on September 29th, so 4 days after her birthday. So happy birthday!
Thank you so much. When's your birthday?
October 3rd.
Okay. See, I'm on the Virgo cusp, but you know what? This makes really good sense because Libras, you're always trying to find the middle ground or things like that. So with what you're doing, I think, first of all, I think it's amazing what you do.
Thank you.
And I think especially for a young man to be putting himself out there, I love every part of it. And especially the fact that you're in entertainment and you're challenging these men to actually be real with themselves. It's pretty incredible, because I wish if you existed when I first started, the world would be a better place. No, like it's just cool. It's strong, and you have to be vulnerable to do that. You know,
yeah,
especially being recorded, like, and listening back, and
for sure
having hard conversations.
Yeah. I mean, that's just, I grew to enjoy that, and I'm sure like anyone who has a podcast like enjoys that aspect of it, the deep conversation and the learning about people, and you know what I mean. So like I don't know, I just enjoy it. I don't really think about it anymore. Like in the beginning I used to, because like you get people like judging you and stuff, but like when the thousands of views are coming in, you're just like, they don't have anything to say. Like, you know, and it gets to a point where you're just like, you know, you just enjoy it. I don't know.
And the people need it. People need it right now, especially. Like they need to feel heard. They need to feel
and it's
seen.
And the thing is, like, it's not even about me. I that's why I love having guests on, because I'm able to learn about them. I'm able to, you know, I'm able just to learn about people and their why and you know what they do, and you know, I don't know. I just enjoy it. You know?
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That's because you're a Libra.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I have, like I said, I have lots of friends, and it's because like I spend lots of time talking to my friends, and we talk about life and what we're doing and things, and people come to me a lot with issues and things like that, because I'm now a very level-headed person. I'm very good at seeing the pendulum swing. Right. And this could be a good crossover for the girl DJ thing, and why that irks me a little bit. Yeah. Because I think that entertainment and nightlife is a huge opportunity for women to thrive. And I think that a lot of women, I hear a lot of like, it's hard being a girl DJ or whatever. And yeah, it was hard for me to be a DJ. Yeah. But never once did I think it was because I was a girl. Yeah. I think people were probably maybe a little threatened by what I was doing and how I was doing it. And it wasn't fair, right? They're like, this girl's coming in, taking our money, taking our gigs.
Well, that's,
Yeah,
and
so
that's even why.
It wasn't because I was a woman.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's like the reason why I wanted to hit on it too, is because it's something that people think about, but it may not necessarily be the case. Right. Because you don't see it often. But when you do, it's like, oh, really? Like, oh, she wants to be a DJ. But it's like, but I find it cool as shit. Like, Jewel wants to DJ. Like,
We're going to be touring and ice hockey games. We'll be a duo.
Yeah, so like, I remember Jewel came to me and asked about it, and like, her curiosity has been piqued, and she's been she's killing, she's doing her thing. So it's like, I find that shit cool. Like, it doesn't matter, like, yeah, I
don't think anybody cares that you're a girl or a guy.
I think,
I'm like,
you know what's,
it's easier to be a girl DJ, and that's what I was. The clip dude, that was picked.
That's what I'm saying.
Every female, any like young female who asks me between like 20 and 26, I always say you should get into nightlife if you can. Yeah. If you're in grad school, or you're in like nurse school, you're early, get into nightlife, because you can make a shit ton of money. And the people will just eat you up.
Right. But I will say, so the clip that was posted, it was kind of three thoughts put into one. And then
Tonka's clip?
Yeah, about what I said. And the eye roll in that was a little hard. But, okay, so I'm going to touch on the three things. So, like I said, I think it's harder to be a man in this industry because women are a rarity. So you will get booked just on the fact of, we want something different. Let's try something different. Let's have something fun, okay? You're not going to get booked back, but you'll get in the door, and then it's up to you to deliver. Like, so, and I always, like I was said on Tonka's podcast, like, I've never played a venue once. I've always been booked back, and that's because of me. That's because of my energy and what I'm doing. But yeah, I got booked because I was a female, for sure.
You think, I don't want to cut you off, but I want to add this to the question, is like, do you think that women get booked sometimes because it is like a novelty, or like
but then they're not playing back, and I know that. I know who's playing and who's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially back then, I was definitely paying attention. Nowadays, I try to be like less aggressive, but sometimes a little hard for me. I do live in New Jersey, so it's like you know, the aggression's there. But the other thing was that happened when I saw that person say, I'm the first girl to play here in da-da-da. Meanwhile, I played there in January.
Yeah.
So it was like, don't talk out of pocket. That was the other thing. And that was a way, like, you're not standing up and being like, I'm the first woman to play here. What you're saying is actually, like, out of pocket.
There's
like
a bit of ego behind it. Yeah.
It's not like, you're not like, I'm a woman and I'm doing this.
Yeah.
It's actually slighted. Like, you're like, and you better know that you were if you weren't.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've had, like, residencies at that venue and stuff. You know what I mean? So I was like, just don't be stupid.
Yeah. And there's also, I just feel like if you have an ego, it's a turn off, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. And yeah, I met lots of girls with big egos when I first started playing, and I was always just like, damn, I don't have that. Like, I actually envied them sometimes because I was like, wow, they probably sleep good. Like, I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? And they're like, I'm the shit. Like, I'm like,
but there's like a,
do you, Bill?
I believe in an inner ego, like the ego where it's like I can show up and whether it's, you know, hold a conversation with someone or interview or, you know, or DJ somewhere, like there has to be that inner ego because that's the confidence to do something
in your shoulder. Like, you can tell it in your posture, in your energy when you walk in the room.
Right.
But the most people that I'm attracted to DJ wise are like the humble ones that are like sitting back, because I'm just like they say, you know, you made it when you don't have to tell anybody who you are. They know, you know what I mean? You walk into a room, you don't have to like you don't have to be Playboy. You don't have to like show off or Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that also comes with time, though. Yeah, it really does. Like I even say my skill, DJing wise, it's just muscle memory now. I've been doing it so long, and it feels so good to DJ like that. Like I never walk in nervous about my transitions. Yeah, I walk in, you know, okay, I want to make sure I'm doing the best set ever and songs. But I'm not like, oh, I might train wreck. Like but that used to be a huge fear. You know what I mean?
I think there's a certain like, it sounds so weird. I guess I don't like talking about DJ stuff because like people who listen aren't really DJs.
Right.
But something that was really cool was like when you know your next 7 songs, if that makes sense. Like you're
just coming.
You're in the
like,
pocket.
Bang, bang.
You're in the pocket. That's just a good feeling.
Yeah. You know what else is a great feeling? When someone else comes to request a song and you have it on deck. Have you ever had that happen?
Jewel, you'll have that. It's top 3 feelings ever.
Oh yeah, you're like, I got it. I got you.
You're like, you just go, you like point to the screen. You're like,
because I'm like, you need to know. I was literally just about to play. This wasn't your request. I was already doing this.
So this is last DJ question, but like, how are you on like requests?
Okay, so I'm good with requests, but ask me once. But at the same time, I do forget some stuff sometimes, like especially if someone's like, can you shout out my friend Samantha? And then I'm just like, wait, what? Like I forget her name. So sometimes I'm like, thank you for coming back. And I
thought it was just me, but
no, I forget all the time. I forget everything. But I'll take requests. I just don't like when you're an asshole about it. Like if you come back, I'm like, I'm not playing that now. Like, don't do it twice. You turn me off to this whole song. Because I was like, you know what? I was going to play it. Yeah. I had some little, like, 6-year-old girl punk me the other day. I did a wedding, and she was like, can you play Love Story Taylor Swift? And I was like, sure. And then she, like, walked away, and then like, she's punking me, and I was like, ooh, I'm glad you're 6.
She don't know better.
No, but I was like, you're going to be that Bad Bunny girl.
Yeah, I had this is actually not a DJing, but I remember, like, because I hate being told what to do a lot of the times. Okay. And I was working at Cadoba at Temple when I was there, and I had this little kid who could barely see over the counter tell me what he wanted, like the burrito, and I rapped it, and he didn't like the way that I rapped it, so he asked me to do another one. So I went to my manager like, yo, can you take care of this customer for me? I went to the back, took the trash out, and I quit. I left. I was like,
oh damn, you're like, not today.
I was in college, and I'm like, I'm not doing this right now. I'm 19 years old. I'm not dealing with this right now.
That is so funny. I will say one more thing about requests. Yeah. Because I don't want the people to know. If you play a song and then if you request a song, I'm sorry, and I play it and then you act like you don't even hear it on.
Oh, you better be the loudest person on the dance floor.
But if 100%. It flops, because I know it's going to flop, and I play it anyway because you know what, fine. Yeah. And then you're just standing there like I did that. I'm like, come on, take ownership for that. You better start yelling, climb on top of that bar right now.
I agree.
Like, the fuck?
That's dude. If I ask for a song, if I'm out, like it's like Tonka's playing a bar, so I asked him for Fred again.
Yeah.
And he put on Fred again, and I was just like this.
You have to.
And he looked at me,
vibe.
and I was like,
You have to.
It's like, yeah, you gotta. You have
Otherwise, you're a total asshole.
Exactly.
Like,
I agree, 100%.
So anyway, don't do that.
So, okay, so you're DJing now, doing very well, but nothing great lasts forever. When the day you decide to finish DJing, if you ever do, do you have an idea of what that would look like?
Yeah. So, you know what? When I went to hair school and all that, like, you know, and I did work in cosmetology for a while. I wanted to be like a stylist, like for people, like while they're like doing performances, like stage, like stuff, like like in like dressing rooms and stuff. But I thought I needed that so bad. I was like, I can't DJ forever. Again, this was guys in my head.
I mean,
being like, you're gonna DJ and you're fucking 30, and it's like
you can. Yeah.
These dudes are like 50 years old, 47 years old, half the DJs I know. They're in their 40s.
Yeah.
So I don't care about that anymore, but I used to. When I was younger, I was like, I'm not going to DJ when I'm 30. Like, no way.
Yeah.
And then now I'm like, now the world's changed. Like, now, you know, it's just different. Like, you can be older and do stuff and it doesn't matter. But I left the industry for like 2 years and I regret that time because that was probably, looking back at my age now, I'm like, that was prime time for when I could have been also very confident and out there. But I needed it though. I needed to step out because I don't think I would ever knew my self-worth and I wouldn't have been able to be as responsible as I am now. Like, working a real job taught me how to be more responsible. You know what I mean? Like, booking myself, like doing contracts with the wedding stuff, like when I'm doing all that, it's a lot of work. So, but my dream is to, it's funny, I'm looking at stuff in a time scale now. There's lots of stuff that I want to do and people are like, you're so good at that, you should do that. And I'm like, I'm going to get to it.
Give me time.
Yeah. And like, okay, when I'm in my 40s, like maybe then I'll like repurpose furniture and like have like a cool, like I want like a thrift store kind of place, but also where like a studio space where other people can come in and have all their stuff. And then it's like a commune almost, like where and then I would love to like throw events there, like make it just like a cool spot, you know, and I would love to like rescue animals, like farm animals.
That's cool. That's really sweet.
Like, and just have it be like a cool little like farm stuff. I love like country style, like Western stuff. Like if you go to my house, you'll see like I have like bull skulls and, you know, I just like, I love that Western swag.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's I
awesome.
love that.
That's awesome. I want to dive deep. I want to dive a little bit into the self-confidence things. I know for females, it's such a huge thing. And for me, you could tell, like, I look like I dress like I'm homeless, but like,
You look fine.
for females, they're like, I know it's such a huge thing. And like, when you're DJing, performing, and like also even just outside of that, cause you mentioned the 2 years you took off, like, what did you really do to like build that self-confidence back up?
So I feel like I still am a very insecure person for the most part. But I felt like working with others and helping people through, like me seeing potential in people and them not living up to it because of their fears, really shifted some shit for me. Where I was like, I can do anything. I can literally do anything. I had this like epiphany where I was like, everybody's born with the same shit. They aren't necessarily, but inside your drive, are you going to push yourself or are you going to sit back and watch life go by? And I just push. I don't ever stop. Like, I never want to leave any stone unturned. Like, there's nothing that I won't do. Whereas before, I'd be insecure and scared. And now I'm not. I'm just not scared.
When you were scared and you were afraid to do that, what was the turning point that allowed you to, or that, you know, that got you to take that leap?
I think probably being on stage from the time I was 19 on, like I always felt secure on stage. I never was scared to be on stage, but I was more scared to be like standing in a conversation with somebody, like, you know what I mean? It was weird. But then as life goes on, you start feeling like, wait, if I can do that, I can do this. And I can. You have to just start telling yourself, first of all, there's no difference. Okay, maybe if you and I like go and like run a block, maybe you can run faster than me, right?
I wouldn't say that.
Maybe, right? But then there's other there's not much shit where I'm like put anybody against me, and I'll just try my hardest, and that's all you can do.
Yeah.
And at least I did it. At least I tried.
Yeah.
It's all about just like your willpower. Like, go for it, do it, and I that's what I'm doing.
Was there a point? No, well, I'm asking this for a very specific reason, and like, is there any times where like you didn't have the willpower?
Yeah. There was 2 times actually when I was DJing. I know those examples quicker, I guess.
No, yeah.
I was on stage because I always felt good on stage, and then I was up there, and this guy was like, I was DJing and I was playing like some hip hop, and the club owner like came up to who was with me at the time and was like, yo, she's gonna switch it up, right? Like, she's gonna switch it up, like play some house or top 40 or whatever. Meanwhile, it's a 30-minute set, and I was actually playing in this place in Delaware. I don't think I'm gonna name names because whatever, but it was like a band venue. That was I played a lot of band venues when I first started, so I was playing and there was huge crowds, like crazy, and it was dead before I went on, and they were sweating that. So like it wasn't even me and what I was doing, but then he's critical on me, right? And he comes up and he's just like, we don't want this Jersey trash in here. Unplugs me, makes the other DJ go on.
No way.
In front of, like, it wasn't crazy busy, but I was like, holy shit. Like, I never had something like that happen before. And I'm on stage, everybody's staring at me. And then the DJ that went on after me dropped DMX, like, right away. And I was like, this is so asinine. Like, the fact that I'm from New Jersey and you're slow, like, you want to pull some shit like that, and then your DJ is going to play DMX anyway. Like, you're so out of touch and ignorant. And I actually ran off the stage. Like, there was a green room on the side. I run down the stairs. I pretty much fall down the stairs. I was so upset, and I didn't want to cry in front of everybody. And then there was a band back there. There was my good friends. They're like, Freezie, what's up? And they're trying to introduce me to people. And I was just like, and I ran in the bathroom, and I was just like, oh my God. Like, and I just started crying. And then I walked out of the bathroom, and everyone was like, yo, what are you doing? Like, the outfit I was wearing. It was just like the worst day of my life. Like, I was like, yo, it's coming in on me right now. And I swore I was never going to DJ again. I was like, no one's ever going to talk to me like that again. I'm never going to be put in that position. Fuck it. I'm done. And the person I was with at the time, who first kind of really taught me how to DJ, was DJ Neto. He doesn't DJ anymore. But he told me, he was like, you know, Jazzy Jeff has played stages where he's been pulled off stage before because people are just stupid and they don't know what's going on. He's like, you can't give up. Like, you can do this. And I sat in my hotel room. I took a nap. I cried a little bit more. And I went and played that night. It was a different venue, like a block away. And I played and I fucking killed it. And it was like, you know what? And anytime I push through, I do better. And I do persevere. But it was so hard. It was like, fuck it, now I gotta face all these people again. What if they were there earlier? Because it was like a happy hour thing, and then it was at night. So, but I ended up killing it. And then the last song of the night, I played this remix of Wonderwall, and everybody was singing, and I like crowd surfed, and it was just like, it's okay, you know. Like, sometimes it's hard.
Do you think you needed to go through that? Do you think that helped you in any way?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know, because it unlocked a new fear. Because before, like, you know, I wasn't ever that afraid of something that crazy happening to me when I was playing. You know, like, I was just like, fuck. Like, I didn't know that something like that could go down. Like, you know, like, if anything, come tap me on the shoulder.
I've never heard of that. I've never seen that. That's, yeah.
And it wasn't even about me. That's, like, looking back, you know what I mean? Like, I was playing 20 minutes.
Yeah, you weren't
15 minutes at the time.
It could have been hey, do some house for me real quick.
Period. Like, that's what it could have been. But instead, you chose to be just, like, disgusting. Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, listen, that happened to me once in my life. And I've been DJing for 14 years. You know, people have been through stuff on stage that you don't see. You know, so, yeah, that moment, yeah, I felt absolutely not. Hard no, I'm never doing this again.
Damn, I'm glad you overcame that, because that's tough for anyone to.
Can you imagine that feeling? Like, and then the whole band seeing me as I'm like, oh, like running into the background.
I've never had that happen, but I've had feelings where I felt like I wasn't good.
Yeah.
And then you just like, but you channel it, and then you take. I'll tell you off camera, but you take it, and then you tell yourself you're never gonna feel like that again, and then you end up doing your thing. But what would you say to young females who are, I guess
this is how the question started with Tonka, which was funny.
Oh, really? So I'm going to rephrase it then.
Speak to all young entrepreneurs or whatever.
But I feel like, all right.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
What would you say? Okay, let me phrase it this way. So I won't take Tonka's question.
Okay.
What would you say to someone who is, and we're going to wrap up with this.
Okay.
Someone who's going into a passion or pursuit, whatever they're going into, and they may not feel ready for it, or they may not feel confident enough ready for it. What's something you would say to them to help push the extra mile? So
it's not even for me, because like all those times, and even now, whenever I'm playing, it's very like high stress situations. So it's not like, I feel like the one thing that I told myself that I learned, actually a DJ told me, his name is DJ KEV Today is his name.
Okay.
And he was Daly's roommate and they both kind of helped me out a lot when I was first starting. So he told me, he's like, there's nothing. I was having like a little panic attack. It was at Kildare's in Manayunk, which I don't even think is there anymore. I'm not sure.
It's not. There's a Kildare's in Westchester.
Okay. So he was downstairs and I was upstairs, and I was like, I texted him. I was like, please come up here. I'm freaking out. Like, I was like panicking because I didn't know that much music at the time. I was 19. I wasn't even allowed to be there, let alone how am I supposed to know what these people want to hear? You know what I mean? Like, that was the hardest part at first. That's another reason why I love, after you've been DJing a long time, like, it comes
so natural.
Yeah. And even just knowing music and working in music for 10 years, like, you always have a song. When I first started, I would be like, oh shit, what am I going to play? I don't know. So Kevin came upstairs and I was panicking. And he told me like 4 songs to just have in the bag all the time that are your like, oh shit songs. Which one of them was Bring 'Em Out, which is I still drop that shit.
Yeah.
Bring 'Em Out. And like, I think it was like Crazy in Love was another one or something. It was just funny, like little songs at the time that, And he told me, he's like, there's nothing that you can do right now to make you any different than who you already are. Like, you're not going to push a button and all of a sudden you're going to be a way better DJ. Like, he's like, you just do everything you can right now, and that's all you can do. You can't do more than you're incapable of. You know what I mean? So, like, feel the power in knowing I'm doing my best. And it's got to be the best. And at least I'm trying. At least I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And also look around. Like sometimes I got to punk people to make myself feel better. Like that's a very bad quality. But be like, they're not doing this right now. I'm doing this right now. I'm putting myself out here.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And it's okay. Listen, you have nights where you don't go over that well. But it's like you're really pushing something that you're passionate about.
Right.
So just keep going.
Right.
And it's going to be okay.
Yeah. And you're in it. You're in the shit. And like you might as well keep going and see where it takes you.
And just feel the pride and the power of doing your best. Feel that and know in my head right now, I'm doing my best. And if it's not working, well, that's okay. That's how the world works. And now next time I'll have this experience in my pocket. Yeah,
that's great advice.
You know what I mean? Because there's really nothing else you can do.
Right. I think a lot of times people they try to control things that are not in their control simply,
And getting back to the whole booking thing, like when you're not getting something, I am trying to learn, like, you can only control what you can control. Like, if somebody wants to book someone else, then that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. And if somebody doesn't like me, that's okay. Like, it doesn't happen as often lately, but before,
I think that comes with security. I feel like you've put such a resume together that like you are at the point where you can walk into a room and be like, like, you know who you are, you know what you have, It feels really good, and I'm very blessed to be at this point in my life to enjoy DJing. I didn't enjoy it for the whole first part, for at least from 19 to 25. I really didn't enjoy
I didn't get to, which is sad. I feel like I was robbed of like the joy of doing it because of how I felt by my peers. So really, because I was always so down on myself, and that really sucks. So maybe this is somebody up there being like, you can feel good now. And I don't know.
And honestly, on a human level, I'm really glad that you overcame that, because a lot of times people don't, and they shut down, and they think that they need to do something else. So you overcame it, and honestly, like I'm that's awesome. Like I think it's amazing. I'm really happy for you, because like I said, because I have a twin sister who struggles with some stuff like that. And that's why I had a lot of those questions. Because I can imagine, like as a woman, and as anyone in the industry as well, trying to break their way in the industry, like it's tough. It's cutthroat. You have to be. You're gonna get told no a lot, and then there's, you know what I mean. There's a lot of different things that can happen to affect your confidence or affect your ability or who you are. But like someone like yourself who stuck through it and overcame it, I mean, I respect that, and I think it's awesome.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, and I think that I wish that I knew. Like I'm so blessed to say. I do want to say the guys that I work with now for Near Dark, it's also another huge confidence boost, because they are extremely talented vets, and they still take care of themselves. They have a great image, they have a great rapport, and they're skilled. And so anything they say, it's like Bible to me. Like awesome. And so I've had Patrice, he told me before, he's like, you've got that it, girl, like, and that's gonna take you plenty of places. Like you have that, like you're so talented in that. Be proud of yourself for that. No one's ever told me that before. No other DJ ever gave me props for the way I can control a crowd, or my performances, or like my interaction with people. Like they threw all that out the window. Nobody wanted to even look at that, and it's like that was a huge component. You
know what? So Dawkins said in our interview, our conversation was like, he mentioned there's his high school coach Emmett, who really helped him see who he was. There's a lot, because like you can have the most confidence in the world, but like having that push from somebody is massive, and it can really change who you become. Because like I said, you can only do so much for yourself. You can have the confidence as much as you want, but if you don't,
you need support,
someone,
and a circle,
for sure,
and not to mention to be associated with people who are a strong circle. Like it's not like I'm just like, they're like, hey, you're great. It's like they're great, and for them to say that, I'm like, okay, bet. Like that feels good. So all those guys, I just want to shout out them, because I love them so much.
100%.
And I love hanging out with all of them. Like they're all great people. Vito G really pushes me and is always there for me consistently and believes in me. So even on my hardest day, if anything happens, I know that person who's extremely talented has my back and sees what I see, and they got me. So him, Patrice, Dave Mass. I love Dave Mass. He's I don't know if you ever met him before, but he's amazing, and he's awesome. And he has really infectious energy, which is amazing. Aiden's a really hard worker. You know, A-Dub, Kevin Kong, they're all great guys, and I'm just like really blessed to be a part of it, and
that's awesome.
The team.
Hell yeah. Well, listen, you have very infectious energy too. You came in hot. I'm not gonna lie. Which is really, it's so refreshing, honestly, and like I really enjoyed talking to you. Like, so I really wish you the best, and I got to come out and see you soon.
Okay, cool.
Whenever I'm off, I'll definitely be looking at your schedule. So I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of The Loft. I'm Kev Nichols. That's Chelsea Frost, aka Freezie.
Yes.
Peace, guys.
See ya.
Peace.